Welcome back to History in Minutes. Buckle up, because today we're diving deep into one of the most pivotal, dramatic, and game-changing sieges in human history, the Siege of Constantinople in 1453. This wasn't just a battle for a city. It was the collapse of an empire that lasted over a millennium, the fall of a bastion of culture, faith, and power, and the rise of a new empire that reshaped the world forever. Setting the stage, the Byzantine Empire's glory and decline. To understand the siege, we have to go way back. First, Constantinople was founded in 330 CE by Emperor Constantine the Great as the new capital of the Roman Empire. Imagine a city built on the crossroads of continents, Europe and Asia, controlling vital trade routes connecting the Black Sea and the Mediterranean. This city, perched on a peninsula surrounded by water on three sides, was practically built to last. Its massive walls and strategic position made it the ultimate fortress. For centuries, Constantinople was the heart of the Byzantine Empire, a beacon of Orthodox Christianity, art, learning, and wealth. Its markets were full of silks, spices, gold, and treasures from every corner of the known world. Byzantine emperors ruled with divine right, and the city was home to magnificent churches like Hagia Sophia, which stood as a symbol of architectural brilliance and religious power. However, empires don't last forever. By the 15th century, Byzantium was a shadow of its former self. Centuries of wars, internal conflicts, and the rise of new powers chipped away at its territories. The once vast Roman Empire had shrunk, and the Byzantine Empire was now confined mostly to Constantinople itself and a few scattered areas. The rise of the Ottomans, a new power emerges. Meanwhile, a new power was rising, the Ottoman Turks. Starting as a small principality in the late 13th century in Anatolia, the Ottomans rapidly expanded. Skilled warriors and brilliant strategists, they swept through the Balkans and Asia Minor with relentless ambition. By 1453, Sultan Mehmed II, known as Mehmed the Conqueror, had ascended to the throne at the tender age of 19. By 21, he had set his sights on Constantinople, the prize that would legitimize his reign and open the gates to controlling the entire region. He was ruthless, determined, and an innovator in warfare. The political chessboard, alliances and betrayals, but this wasn't just a battle of soldiers and weapons. It was a chess game of politics, religion, and alliances. The Byzantine Empire, weakened and isolated, desperately sought help from Western Europe. Calls went out to the Pope and Western rulers for military aid. Some help arrived in the form of mercenaries, especially Genoese and Venetian sailors, but Europe was embroiled in its own conflicts and largely unwilling to commit to a full-scale crusade. Additionally, the religious divide between the Orthodox Byzantines and Catholic Western Europe didn't help. Attempts at church reunification failed to rally the necessary support. Meanwhile, the Ottoman Empire was growing stronger and more unified under Mehmed's leadership. Preparing for the siege, the stage is set. Mehmed assembled what was possibly the largest army Europe had seen to that point. Estimates range from 80,000 to 200,000 soldiers, a mix of infantry, cavalry, archers, artillery crews, engineers, and specialists. His army was equipped with state-of-the-art technology, including gunpowder cannons that were a relatively new and terrifying addition to siege warfare. Among the most famous weapons was the Basilica cannon, a massive siege cannon capable of firing stone balls over half a ton in weight. Designed by a Hungarian engineer named Orban, it required hundreds of oxen to transport and days to assemble. This cannon was capable of shaking the ancient Theodosian walls to their foundations. On the defenders' side, Emperor Constantine XI Palaiologos led a vastly outnumbered force of roughly 7,000 men, a mix of Byzantine troops, Venetian and Genoese mercenaries, and civilians pressed into service. The defenders had the advantage of the city's formidable walls, their knowledge of the terrain, and weapons like the deadly Greek fire, a mysterious incendiary liquid weapon that could burn even on water. The massive walls of Constantinople. The Theodosian walls were more than just barriers. They were a fortress within a fortress. Constructed in the 5th century, these walls consisted of a double line of defense, an outer wall about 5 meters thick and 8 meters high, and an inner wall towering 12 meters high, reinforced by massive towers every few hundred meters. In front of the walls lay a wide moat that could be flooded from the sea. For over a millennium, these walls had repelled the best armies of their time: Arab sieges, Slavic attacks, and even the forces of the Fourth Crusade. Many believed Constantinople was unconquerable. The siege begins. April 6, 1453. The Ottomans commenced the siege with a relentless bombardment. For weeks, massive cannons shook the earth and shattered stone. The defenders struggled to repair the breaches by night, only to have them shattered again by dawn. But this was more than brute force. Mehmed's strategy combined artillery with infantry assaults, naval blockades, and psychological warfare. The Ottoman navy established a blockade in the Sea of Marmara and the Bosporus, cutting off supplies and reinforcements. To protect the Golden Horn harbor, the Byzantines had stretched a massive chain across the entrance, preventing Ottoman ships from entering. But the Ottomans performed a bold, ingenious maneuver, hauling their ships over land on greased logs across the Galata Peninsula, bypassing the chain and tightening the naval blockade. Life inside Constantinople. As the siege dragged on, life inside the city became a nightmare. Food and water ran scarce. Disease spread rapidly through the crowded streets and walls. Civilians endured constant bombardment, sleepless nights, and the terrifying sound of war machines. Emperor Constantine XI became a symbol of hope and resistance. Contemporary accounts describe him personally manning the walls, rallying troops, and refusing to surrender or flee. His leadership was crucial in holding morale. The final days, the last stand. After 53 grueling days, Mehmed prepared his final assault. The Ottoman army launched a massive attack on the night of May 28 to 29, 1453. The cannons had created multiple breaches in the walls. Thousands of Ottoman soldiers poured into the city through these gaps. Fierce hand-to-hand combat broke out in the narrow streets. The defenders fought with desperation, but their numbers and strength were no match. The death of Constantine XI and the fall. During the chaos, Emperor Constantine XI vanished. Most accounts agree he died fighting on the battlefield, embodying the spirit of his city to the very end. His body was never found, leaving his fate shrouded in legend and myth. With the city conquered, Mehmed entered Constantinople, proclaiming it the new Ottoman capital, renaming it Istanbul. The city was transformed, becoming the seat of a new empire that would dominate the region for centuries. The aftermath and global impact. The fall of Constantinople sent shockwaves across Europe. It marked the end of the Byzantine Empire, the last vestige of the Roman Empire, a civilization that had lasted over 1,000 years. This event reshaped global trade routes. With the Ottoman control of key land routes to Asia, European powers were forced to seek new ways, eventually sparking the age of exploration. Christopher Columbus's voyages, Vasco da Gama's sea route to India, and others were all influenced by this geopolitical shift. The siege also demonstrated the deadly power of gunpowder artillery in warfare, signaling a new era of military technology and strategy. Legacy of the siege. Today, the siege of Constantinople stands as a testament to human endurance, innovation, and the rise and fall of empires. It's a story of courage and tragedy, where the old world met the new, and the tides of history turned forever. This is History in Minutes, and I hope to see you again.